In the beginning of this part, Young-hee's brother Song comes to Seoul with the intention of marrying a rich girl, but struggles to find one. Meanwhile, Young-hee tries to ask Ji-woo to a musical show by making him a dessert, but Ye-ji interrupts. Ye-ji claims she and Ji-woo are a couple, leaving Jung-hee shocked. Ji-woo discovers Jung-hee's tickets to the show and asks her to go with him. Ye-ji and Kim Young also attend the show, leading to a confrontation where Ye-ji insults Jung-hee. Kim Young defends Jung-hee, causing tension. Jung-hee confesses her feelings to Ji-woo, who rejects her. Ye-ji and Kim Young discuss their feelings for Ji-woo and Jung-hee. Rockstar invites Jung-hee to his performance, where Ji-woo protects her from a man harassing her. They share a moment, but Jung-hee pushes him away. They later bond over personal stories, with Ji-woo revealing his dislike for the nighttime. Ji-woo refuses to seek medical help for his symptoms, relying on alcohol instead. Jung-hee advises him to find a better solution, but he is more focused on her concern for him. Meanwhile, Rockstar struggles to get paid for his performance, and Rose is unable to help. Kim Young realizes his feelings for Jung-hee and plans to confess to her. Ye-ji decides to move out of her family home to be with Ji-woo, causing tension with her mother. Kim Young plans a romantic confession for Jung-hee, but she is shocked and speechless. Jung-hee is caught living in Ji-woo's storage room, leading to an argument between them. Mr. Gong offers Jung-hee a deal for his recipes, and a customer causes a scene at the bar. Ji-woo defends Jung-hee, leading to a confrontation with the customer. Jung-hee and Rose are at a restaurant for dinner when Jung-hee asks Rose which one she should choose, love or liking. Rose replies confidently and picks love, saying that we can live with someone we like easily, but when someone is gone, they can only feel peaceful when they are with the other person. And when that person is away from us, we feel broken. The next scene shows Ye-ji sitting in her apartment when her mother walks in. Her mother is there to convince her to come back home, but Ye-ji does not budge and refuses to go. Ye-ji tells her mother that she wants to marry Ji-woo, and that is the only thing she wants. This infuriates Ye-ji's mother, who starts yelling at Ye-ji and tells Ye-ji that she will not let her marry Ji-woo no matter what happens. She tells Ye-ji to stay away from Ji-woo since he is the reason that Myuu, Ye-ji's brother, is dead. This makes Ye-ji angry, so she gets up and tells her mom the real reason Myuu passed away. She tells her mother how Myuu saw his mother with another man and found out about her affair, so he got angry and ran into the forest. She also tells her how Ji-woo was trying to stop Myuu and save him, but he could not. Ye-ji swears that Ji-hyuk, Ji-woo, and herself can testify to this as well. Ye-ji gets angry and leaves the room. On the other hand, her mother goes into shock after realizing that she herself is the reason for Myuu's death, so she sits down on the couch. Once Jung-hee is back from dinner, she sits and thinks about Kim Young's confession and decides to give him her decision. She figures out that Kim Young is the person she likes, whereas Ji-woo is the person she actually loves. She does not want to become Kim Young's girlfriend, but she does want to remain good friends with him. So after a lot of hard thinking and consideration, she texts Kim Young. In the text, she only says thank you for everything. Kim Young and Song are sitting together when he receives Jung-hee's text. When he reads the text, his mood suddenly crashes, and he gets sad. Song asks him what the text said, but instead of replying to Song, Kim Young gets up and leaves without saying anything. Ji-woo calls out for Jung-hee, and when she comes, he gives her an ice pack for the injury she got in the morning when she got hit by that man. Jung-hee asks him why he is doing all of this even after she told him not to be nice to her. She tells him that she is trying not to like him anymore since that is what he wanted. He corrects her and tells her that this is not what he wants. He confesses that he likes her too, but he explains to her how he cannot get into a loving relationship with her no matter how much he wants to. He tells her how he is forced to do this. She asks him what this force is that is preventing him from doing all of this. He stays silent, so she starts to walk away, but Ji-woo grabs Jung-hee's hand and stops her. He tells her that he is a murderer. He tells her how Myuu, who is Ye-ji's elder brother, is dead, and Myuu's blood is on his hands. Ji-woo then goes into a flashback, in which it is shown that Ji-woo and Myuu are celebrating their birth dates together, since they both share the same birth date. Myuu's father was talking to them on a video call because he was admitted to the hospital. He was wishing the both of them a happy birthday. The next thing that he remembers is running through the forest after Myuu, who is very angry. Ji-woo was trying to get Myuu to calm down and get back home. Myuu does not listen to Ji-woo, and instead he keeps on going until he falls down a small cliff. The cliff is not too high, so he was alive at that time. He falls down, and Ji-woo runs down to him to check up on him. Ji-woo tries to call someone for help, but since they are so deep inside the forest, he gets no signals. So he says that he is going to go and look for some help. But Myuu tells him not to go, and not to leave him alone since he is afraid of being alone at the time in the dark forest, especially because he was injured. Since it started draining heavily at that point, Ji-woo grabs Myuu to go look for some shelter since he is injured and unable to walk much. They end up putting him under a big to keep him dry and away from the rain. Myuu keeps on begging Ji-woo not to leave him alone and to stay with him, but when he passes out and becomes unconscious, Ji-woo leaves to go find some help. Ji-woo finally finds everyone, and he takes them to where Min-ju was, only to find Min-ju missing. The next morning, the cops and ambulance drag Min-ju's dead body out of the forest and tell them that either some animal attacked him or he tried to get up and find help and fell down from another cliff. Min-ju's mom is crying crazily and screaming over the loss of her son. Ji-hyuk turns Yeji's face to the other side so she would not have to look at her own brother's dead body. And Ji-woo is in a lot of pain, screaming and crying for Min-ju. Ji-woo snaps sort of the flashback and tells Jung-hee everything that he saw, and she starts comforting him and tells him that it is not his fault that he left Min-ju alone. She tells him how he was only looking out for Min-ju when he left to go find help, so he should not blame himself for this because it is not his fault, not even a single %. Ji-woo wipes away his tears and looks straight at Jung-hee because no one has ever made him feel as if he was not to blame. Everyone would always blame Ji-woo for this, and Jung-hee was the first person ever to comfort him and tell him that it's not his fault. Ji-woo gets up and he kisses Jung-hee right away because in Ji-woo's eyes, Jung-hee was more special to him now, and this was also the first time Ji-woo ever told anybody about the Min-ju incident. After the kiss, he hugged Jung-hee and thanked her. He also tells her that he likes her a lot, and he expresses how much he likes her. Kim Yong is sitting outside of a stall where a friend comes up to him and asks him how he is doing. Kim Yong asks his friend what it means when a girl says, "Thank you for everything." Ye-ji walks up from behind him and says that it means that she rejected you. It turns out that his friend invited Ye-ji there since they are mutual friends too. Kim Yong gets annoyed, but Ye-ji tells everyone that she is just there to drink because she is heartbroken as well, so she is not in the mood for anything. This calms down Kim Yong. Ji-woo tells Jung-hee how, after Min-ju's death, his father, as in Ye-ji's father, also passed away from the shock of losing his son. He also tells Jung-hee that while growing up, Ye-ji would follow him everywhere because she was left all alone. He would even often yell at her to stop following him, but she would not listen. And whenever she was away from Ji-woo, she would cry, and she would beg Ji-woo not to leave him. This behavior of hers reminded him of Min-ju, so he started to always protect Ye-ji. All of this left Jung-hee in shock and silence. Ye-ji and Kim Yong are in a bar drinking alcohol in sorrow, while Kim Yong's friend is on stage and singing very sad songs, but his vocals are off point. But the lyrics of the sad song sent Ye-ji and Kim Yong deep into their feelings, and they both started feeling sad. The both of them then get up on the stage while their friend is sitting down on the couch. They are both letting all of their emotions out and singing a sad song completely out of their feelings. While singing, they both look at each other, and the both of them stop singing because they both suddenly feel attracted to each other. Their friend notices this and starts laughing at them and making fun of them. When they leave the bar, Kim Yong's friend, who is extremely drunk, starts making fun of the both of them and jokes around by saying things like, if they were one step closer to each other, they would have kissed. The friend starts walking in front of them, and that is when Ye-ji asks Kim Yong about his rejection message, so he tells her everything. While the friend was joking around, he walked into a pole, ended up hitting his head on the pole and fell down. Ye-ji drops off the drunk friend at his house first. Kim Yong is so drunk that he falls asleep on Ye-ji's shoulder. Ye-ji closely observes his face and thinks about how Kim Yong is actually good-looking and cute, but her next thought is questioning what the point is of being so cute if he gets rejected by a girl. At this time, Kim Yong is so drunk that he starts taking Jung-hee's name while he's asleep on Ye-ji's shoulder. Jung-hee is torn between her feelings for Ji-woo and Kim Yong. She thinks about her kiss with Ji-woo, and then she thinks about her kiss with Kim Yong. She then decides that she has enough of this meddling, and she wants to talk to Kim Yong, so she calls him. But since he is passed out in deep sleep, Ye-ji picks up and tells Jung-hee that Kim Yong is with him in deep sleep, and says that she does not want to wake him up. Jung-hee wonders why he is with Ye-ji this late at night, so she asks Ye-ji a lot of questions. But Ye-ji refuses to answer and says to Jung-hee that since she is not dating Kim Yong, it is none of her business and she should learn to mind her own business. After this, Jung-hee leaves the washroom to go to her room, the storeroom, but Ji-woo stops her. Ji-woo says that a storeroom is no place to live, so he invited her to live on his floor. She gets kind of worried and rushes to pack her stuff, which is a small suitcase, and goes up to his floor. He walks her to her own personal room and tells her that if she needs anything at all, she should not hesitate to ask him for it. She genuinely thanks him from the heart and tells him that it truly means a lot. Ji-woo goes and lays down on his bed, thinking about what Jung-hee said when she mentioned that Min-ju's death is not his fault. He smiles and feels very happy, dwelling on Jung-hee's words until he finally falls asleep. He wakes up to his mom bringing him breakfast, and he's very worried because he does not want his mother to find out that Jung-hee is living with him. So he thinks about what to do, and then he executes his plan. He, very quickly and quietly, sneaks Jung-hee out of the house without his mother even finding out that she was there in the first place. Ji-woo and his mother are enjoying a nice breakfast together when he asks his mother if she is dating someone because his father told him about it. He says that he will support her no matter what and questions if the man is rich and jokes around, saying that it will benefit him as well if he is rich. Suddenly, his stomach starts hurting. So his mother gets worried and takes him to a friend of hers, Mr. Gong, who is a doctor. The doctor tells them that the reason for the stomach pain is because of the high amounts of alcohol he consumes daily. The doctor says that according to the reports, it looks like he drinks alcohol all day and night. Ji-woo's mother gives him an annoyed and kind of angry look, and Ji-woo just smiles. When they leave the doctor's office, he guesses that the doctor is the guy his mother is seeing, so he says that he approves of her, and the doctor and his mother don't reply and instead ask him to be quiet. Meanwhile, Ye-ji, Kim Yong, and his friend are having their breakfast somewhere, and Kim Yong's friend asks if he hit his head somewhere last night because he has a huge bruise on his head. Ye-ji and Kim Yong start to laugh very loudly. Ye-ji then tells Kim Yong that when he was passed out because he was so drunk, Jung-hee called, and Ye-ji picked it up and told her that Kim Yong was asleep next to him and she could not wake him up from his sleep. This makes Kim Yong frustrated, but his friend interrupts his frustration and asks if the both of them actually slept with each other. Kim Yong asks him to shut up and stop saying this. Jung-hee then texts Kim Yong saying that she wants to meet him. This makes him extremely happy, and Ye-ji reads this text and tells him that the reason she said that on the call was so that Jung-hee would feel jealous of Ye-ji, and that would help her discover her feelings for Kim Yong. This makes Kim Yong even more happy. Ye-ji says that she will get them a reservation at one of the best restaurants in the city, but Kim Yong refuses and says that he does not need any more of her help. Kim Yong's friend agrees with Ye-ji and tells him to listen to Ye-ji's plan and take her help, so Kim Yong is left with no option but to agree. The next scene shows two girls in Ji-woo's bar looking at the menu, but they leave due to the lack of variety in the food. Wong, who is also at the bar and watching all of this, says that they need to add more dishes to the menu. He goes to Jung-hee in the kitchen and teaches her recipes for some new dishes. Jung-hee is genuinely impressed by his cooking skills, and once the dish is ready, they bring it out to serve it to Ji-woo. Ji-woo tastes it, and he really likes it. Then Jung-hee brings out Mr. Gong from the kitchen and tells everyone that Mr. Gong made this dish, and since it is so good, it should be added to the menu. Ji-woo gets angry and says that there is no need to add this to the menu, and he asks Jung-hee to escort Mr. Gong out of the building, and then Ji-woo walks away. This frustrates Mr. Gong, and he calls Ji-woo egoistic and full of attitude. Jung-hee interrupts and tells Mr. Gong not to mind anything that Ji-woo said, and tells him that Ji-woo is actually really soft and kind at heart. Jung-hee arrives at the restaurant Kim Yong sent her to, and it turns out to be a really fancy, luxurious, and expensive restaurant. When the waiter walks Jung-hee over to the table, she finds out that Kim Yong is already there. Jung-hee asks Kim Yong why he called her to such an expensive restaurant instead of a park or any cafe. Kim Yong tells her not to mind or worry about any of this and tells her to relax, and he tells her that he has already ordered the food. Back at the bar, Ji-woo is playing with the cat, Bear. When Ye-ji walks in and asks Ji-woo to go to dinner with her, he refuses, but then she starts asking again and again, and when he still does not agree, she starts to force him to come. On the other side of town, back at the restaurant, Jung-hee asks Kim Yong what he was doing with Ye-ji that late at night, and asks if the both of them are starting to get close to each other. Kim Yong was shocked and asked if she really was jealous of it, but Jung-hee said that she was not jealous. She was only curious, so that is why she asked. This makes Kim Yong very happy, so he takes a bite of his dish, tastes it, and enjoys it, so he starts to compliment it. At this time, Ye-ji and Ji-woo walk into the restaurant and take a seat at a table in the same hall. This upsets Jung-hee a lot, but Kim Yong asks her to ignore all of this. Ji-woo is completely unaware that Jung-hee is also at this very same restaurant with Kim Yong. He gets annoyed by the conversation Ye-ji initiates, so he gets up and leaves to go to the washroom. Inside the washroom, Ji-woo runs into Kim Yong, who is also coincidentally in the washroom. This makes Ji-woo wonder if his being there too was just a mere coincidence, or if it was something planned. While both of the guys were in the washroom, Ye-ji walked over to Jung-hee's table and started to annoy her by saying things like she would be paying for Kim Yong and Jung-hee's dinner because this restaurant was more expensive than his salary, and it was her job to look out for Kim Yong since they were friends now. Jung-hee refuses this offer and says that there is no need for it. Ye-ji taunts Jung-hee by saying that this bill will be a huge burden on Kim Yong. She then asks Jung-hee about things like her family tree and her father's job and occupation, and says that she is excited to know. Jung-hee asks her why she wants to know all of this. She says that she is curious as to what could be the reason for her rejecting a great guy like Kim Yong, and he accuses her of being a gold digger, saying that her being a gold digger is the reason she is not falling for Kim Yong. Jung-hee remains silent. Kim Yong comes back from the bathroom, and when Ye-ji sees him coming, she says bye to Jung-hee and leaves their table to go back and sit on her own table. Kim Yong gets worried and asks Jung-hee why Ye-ji was at their table and what she was saying. Jung-hee does not reply, gets up and proceeds to leave. Kim Young tries to stop her, but she does not stop. While she walks towards the exit, Ji-woo walks out of the bathroom, and they both walk in the same direction. She stops when she sees Ji-woo, and Ji-woo also stops. She is shocked to see Ji-woo there, and Ji-woo is also very shocked to see her there with Kim Young. Jung-hee grabs Kim Young's hand, drags him out with him outside of the restaurant, and leaves. Ji-woo sees all of this and watches it, so he immediately understands that Ye-ji must have done something sleek to cause this. So he walks over to his table and sits down.